So again, this episode is about work-life balance. You know, we talked about Father Jacob-Bertrand riding 10,478 miles on his bike in one day. It was amazing.
So fast.
What do you think, Father, are some of the principles we need to dive into? I mentioned a kind of reticence that Americans have to enter into any kind of serious leisure, but I think there's probably more basic questions that need to be asked even before that.
Yeah, I think, well, even like the title or that phrase, work-life balance, begins the conversation, right? Because there ought to be a balance between work and life, and they're not the same thing, and they ought not be the same thing. Like
Right.
Our life is not our work, and our work ought not be our life. They're obviously intertwined, and there are times when it might feel like all I do is work, or like fine, okay, but like the reality is if we look at even like let's look at like even a basic tenet of our faith, like there is a day of rest built into who we are, programmatic into who we are. Like we're made for that rest, so we have to approach life in that sense where yeah, we work hard, that sort of thing, but there's also a time for us to rest and be invested in other things besides our job or the work that we do. And that's an important thing, not just because it's trying to like achieve some sort of like Renaissance man status, I can do all these different things, but because we need it to be happy and healthy. And I think that's something, and we'll probably talk about this, but in the sort of modern age, the contemporary age where like email is on cell phones and blah, blah, like it's much harder to not live above the shop or in the shop. But that means it's all the more important that we be vigilant about finding and maintaining and creating these habits of balance there.
Yeah, I think this is such a great point, right? You're talking about delineating where work ends and what belongs to the rest of life. Not that work isn't separate from life; it's all one. But what belongs to our free time and what belongs to our job, right? And it's really a horrific thing to be sitting on the beach, with your family on vacation and be answering emails. Just don't do it. It's a bad thing. It's not restful. You have to find time to actually unplug and put an away message on and not pay attention to what's going on your phone. I think it's absolutely key. In my life as a priest, one way I experienced how dramatic this could be when you get some structural boundaries in place happened when we moved the friars who had been living in a parish rectory at St. Pius V into the priory at Providence College. And at the end of the day, that meant I could walk, and it wasn't far, the walk across the street, across Eden Street, down to the priory from the parish, from St. Pius V parish. But once I could walk from the parish to the priory, I found myself able to actually disengage. And it was
Rather
very
than living
clear.
right next to the parish.
Exactly,
Right? Yeah.
exactly. Because when you live in the rectory, the phone is going to ring. There are going to be knocks at the door, and that's just part of it. And it's something that a lot of priests really struggle to navigate. But when we made that structural change, I realized just how big an impact that makes, and I realized how important it is, and what I could have been doing to put up better structures in my life apart from just the physical change.
Father Jacob-Bertrand, would you say that you're optimistic about this subscription appeal?
No.
Would you say that you're optimistic about anything?
No.
Well, I am. Folks, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd greatly appreciate it. Cheers.